Gooner Gospel TV. And as a wise man once said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So I appreciate that. First things first, let's do some housekeeping. If you could, please smash the like button. Please share. Please subscribe and help a brother out. Because I want to grow this channel. I want to grow our community. First of all, I'm going to introduce my guy, my brethren, JT Gooner. Come rock with me. Let's chop it up about the game against Palace. Let's do a little review. Let's do a little catch up. It's been a little while. Yeah. How you been?
Hello, Ant. How's it going, man? All good?
Yeah. Wicked, man. Wicked. It's been a while, bro.
It has, isn't it? It's been too long, and I just want to reiterate what Ant said there in the intro. There, he said just hit like, hit subscribe, everything, man. We want this channel to go massive because we want Gooners to come on and talk real football. Real. It doesn't even have to be about Arsenal. You can come in and we'll put an Arsenal slant on your view, but we want mainly, as Ant says, we want Gooners to come on and feel it's a place they can come and chat and not be belittled and not be thrown bad news, fake news at. We're going to try and keep it real, man.
And that's it. Keep it honest. And please go subscribe to the Armchair Gooner as well.
Yeah, that's me.
You know? That's JT. Definitely, man. He's got some good takes. We both got some good takes. Yeah, we've been chopping it up for a while. So should we get straight into it?
Man.
Let's start with how do you think signings? How are you feeling about the signings that have come in? And yeah, we could start from there.
I mean, because we haven't spoken about this, so I'm personally, I'm quite happy. Linking it to the Palace game, there was a bit. I'll hold my hands up and say I was a bit surprised when we signed Havertz because of who we already had at the club. I think Smith Rowe can do his role. Obviously, Arteta sees something different there. But it did surprise me that they went for Havertz and not try and put that 70 mil on a striker.
Yeah,
because it looks like we're going to get rid of Balogun. Still looks like he's going to go, so it does make us light in attack. I think our transfer window before the injury to Timber was spot on. I think he covered everything we needed to cover and made us stronger. Yeah,
I've spoke about this on a video before. For me, I think as for the signings, I'm pretty happy, very happy with the business we've done, because I don't think we're in a place where we need to keep or we need to add loads of players. I think we've got to the place where, look, last year we did compete with City. Obviously, we didn't get it over the line, like we spoke a bit off camera about it. But yeah, we couldn't get it over the line. But I think we're at the point where adding a few players to try and get us over that line is where we're at and what we need to do. So
I mean, we didn't need a massive overhaul. It was just when you saw the end of last season, we lost Saliba and we looked defensively weak, obviously, because you're taking out. I mean, Saliba walks into any team on the planet without a shadow of a doubt. He's that good. So bringing in Timber made sense because it looked more like he was going to cover centre back rather than one of the fullbacks. But that's again, we'll talk about that for the Not Forest game with Partey playing where he is. But even recently with Raya signing, it's a great signing because when we play in cup competitions or whatever, he's obviously going to play Raya then, and it just means that it's not a massive drop down. So the drop from Ramsdale to Turner was too big. Yes. Now it's not so bad, and that's and that's where we need to be. We need to be having everyone where they think to themselves, "I could drop a 7 out of 10 here, and I might not get picked next week."
Facts,
and that's where we need to be as a club. That's where we went wrong under Wenger for the last few years, wasn't it? He was buying players for the sake of buying them, but they weren't pushing the level of the club up, and now they are. You look at someone like Declan Rice, suddenly that's a statement signing. Everyone else around him that's playing in that position think, Christ, how am I going to get past him? And other players are thinking, I'm going to come and join him. If Rice is going there and not Chelsea or whatever, it can only be good for us.
Yeah, facts.
And the two results have bore it out, isn't it? Two wins.
2 wins. Okay, look, let's get into the 2 wins, because I feel like, obviously, I don't want to sway your view, but I feel like a lot of our fans have been very negative.
Yeah.
After these 2 wins, for me personally, I think it's the beginning of the season. 2 games in, I can't read a lot into 2 games. Do you know what I mean? And I know we had a title challenge last season, so everyone's sort of on tenterhooks and really wants us to start purring straight away.
Yeah.
But listen, even City struggled a bit at the beginning of last season. So everyone, for me, I think everyone needs to chill.
Yeah.
We haven't even got into 3rd gear yet, let alone 5th gear. Yeah. We haven't lost the game yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Where are you at with it, John?
So for me, right. So if I'm going to compare the two, like I said, I didn't see the whole of the Notts Forest game, but what I did see and what I heard compared to the Palace game, I thought against Palace we looked much more like we used to look. We were moving the ball around a lot quicker. You think it was an away game, and we spent most of the game in their half. They had a couple of chances. Eddie Nketiah should have got 2. Let's be fair. Another striker would be putting. He was unlucky with the one that hit the post, but the other one where he tried to dink it over the goalkeeper if he just used his left foot and passed it in, it might have gone in.
He chose the wrong option.
He did, didn't he? Yeah. And that's just where a more experienced striker, like Eddie, I think if you look, most of Eddie's goals come from come at home. I don't think he scores many away from home. That needs to be checked. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. But I agree with you. From the fans' point of view, I think the majority of the match-going fans will be sitting there thinking, did so well last season, we're going to go and steamroll the team straight away. Right? Yeah. So the Notts Forest game, we tried the new formation with Partey, and despite what everyone says, there's no way he's playing right back. He's playing when we haven't got the ball as a right-sided midfielder stroke defender, but when we've got the ball, he steps up into midfield. So suddenly it's 3 at the back, 5 in the middle, 3 up front.
Yeah.
And Rice has got to get used to the new style. Havertz has got to get used to playing in a different way because people are looking at Havertz and complaining. Like you say, there's a bit of negativity around him already at 70 million.
Yeah.
Like I said off air, I think we probably could have spent that money on a striker and put Emile Smith-Rowe in that position, but he hasn't. So we go with what he's done, and he's got to find his feet. And they're trying to look at him like a striker and say reviewing him as a striker, and he's not now. He's a midfielder dropping deep and coming forward. He's a link player, isn't he?
Yeah.
So the Notts Forest game, like I said, the Palace game, it's a derby away from home, 2nd game of the season. Most important thing is not to lose it, which we didn't. And after getting the man sent off, we still didn't look like we had a man down.
No.
I thought we controlled the game. And teams are going to want to knock us off our perch as well, mate, because of what happened last year. Other teams will think it was just a fluke. We can get at this team, and they can't. From what we've seen so far, we're not going to be bullied again.
Yeah. So when it comes to sort of the way we've been playing and stuff, how do you feel about it? Like, do you reckon that Arteta's doing this sort of inverted thing? Because, like, alluding to what you were saying about Thomas Partey, when we're on the ball, he comes into midfield, so he becomes inverted. Yeah. We'll get into Tomiyasu because obviously Tomiyasu playing on that left side, or if it's going to be Kivior or it was Timber before the injury. Yeah. Arteta's playing this inverted thing with Thomas Partey. Is he only doing it because Zinchenko's not there? And because usually it's Zinchenko on that side, isn't it?
On the left, tucking in.
Exactly, doing what Partey's doing on the right. So
exactly,
maybe before everyone panics, I'm not sure. I don't want to sort of. I don't want to.
We don't know what Arteta's thinking, do we? We can only guess.
Arteta's thinking, but it could be a thing of, look, I'm not playing Zinchenko, so let me do it with Partey on the right side. Do you know what I mean? Let me do it with Partey. When Zinchenko comes back, Partey moves back into midfield. Ben White goes back out on the right. Do you know what I mean? And
I couldn't agree with you more, mate. I think he's not going to play with 2 inverted fullbacks, is he?
No.
So he's just mirrored it to the other side. And
exactly.
I wonder if he's doing it as well to throw the other teams off, because they're expecting us to do it one way, and he's got no, we're going to do it this way this time.
Yeah.
Because the 2 games that we've played, they're going to come and play a low block. Even Palace at home they're going to wait and try and catch us on the counter, aren't they?
Yeah.
So he might be looking ahead towards he's doing it now.
Yeah.
Thinking, when I've got a fully fit squad, I can work it out. And then if it all goes wrong, I can bring in Gabriel or whatever like that. But then it's for towards the end of the season when we might have injuries and suspensions and stuff. We know that this can work this way as well then. And it might just be because that's where we fell away. It was the Southampton 3-3 last year and the West Ham 2-2. Yeah. So he might be trying to think ahead. That's how I see it.
Well, this is it. He's trying to give us or give the situation new ideas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can't keep going back and doing the same thing and hoping that you win. You've got to come with new things. I think teams...
He's got to keep the players fresh, isn't it? It's like in their heads, he's got to keep them fresh, got to keep them on their toes, isn't it?
Exactly. And you know Arteta's a thinking manager.
Isn't it?
So, the game. Let's get onto the game. I think, what do you reckon about Rice? How do you think he performed? Because for me, I think that was the best performance he's had since he's joined the club. It felt like the shackles were off.
Yeah, and I think that like pre-season and whatnot, he was probably a little bit too withdrawn, but maybe because he wasn't fully fit after the end of it, because he probably had a bit of an extended break after the Europa League or the not Europa League, was it the one below that? But the European final they won.
Yeah.
So he's on a high from that. He's coming to a new club.
Yeah.
He's got to get used to how the players around him play.
Yeah.
And it's not a dig at West Ham, but we control the ball much more than West Ham do. So he's got to get used to seeing a lot more of the ball.
Yeah.
And so against Palace, he probably wasn't involved as much, but against Forest, I thought he drove the game. If I'm honest, it was all going through him, and then that allows then Odegaard to go further forward and do what he needs to do further, which is where you want him, isn't it? You want him further ahead.
I saw Declan Rice's interview. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Straight after the game, like he looked buzzing.
Right, yeah. I saw him come off doing all that, and you're like, wow, that's what you want. I mean,
it felt like, do you know what? The interview that he done was so refreshing. It felt like he's not even been media trained or nothing. He was just having a laugh with Carragher and Neville, and he was just saying that, you know what? When I was going to the game, there was something in my head that sort of clicked, and I was just feeling like, let's have it. Let's have it. Like, you could see it. You could see it when that final whistle blew. You saw the way he was pumping out his chest. He was so glad, and like, yeah, mate, I'm chuffed. I'm so happy with.
I don't get this whole being bantered for winning games. Do you know what I mean? We last year we got bantered so much because we celebrated winning games. What are we supposed to? Just go, well done, lads, move on.
Well, look, over the weekend, City beat Newcastle? Was it 1-0?
Yeah, 1-0.
They were talking about Pep staying out on the pitch for half an hour after the game, clapping the fans.
Yeah.
But when we pump our chests and get excited about winning a game, that we were half an hour down to 10 men.
Away from home.
Yeah, away from home. Managed to get through the game.
Yeah. Unscathed.
You know what I mean? Like, what more do you want? But it's Arsenal, isn't it? This is how we're treated.
Go on.
Let's chop it up over the Tomiyasu red card or two yellow cards. Do you think, I'm going to ask you two things. Do you think that it's down to Tomiyasu? Is that his fault because he's got one yellow card already? Should he have been more careful? Or is the ref was he too excited, too trigger happy? Did the crowd sort of get into his head and he just
So I'm
excited?
It's both, right? So when Tomiyasu got sent off, before he got sent off, actually, I sent I don't know if it's a tweet or an X, whatever it's called now, because it's not Twitter anymore, is it?
X, yeah.
One of my biggest bugbears in football is when you get a throw in and the player, my team included, and this is why I'm across at Tomiyasu, they walk 5 miles down the pitch from where it's supposed to be taken and then just throw it to the opposition anyway. Do you know what I mean? So that was a stupid booking, and if he hadn't have done that in the first place, the second one's only his first yellow card, right? Yeah. The grab back or whatever you want to call it probably was a yellow. It was also well over the top because I think the referees are stamping down early with all these new rules about not speaking to the referee unless it's the captain, and time wasting is getting booked early doors and all that sort of stuff. I think in October you'll see all that die off because they'll start to realise it's going to start ruining, because they're going to have to start sending everyone off.
Like, so are they sucking the life out of the game?
100%.
Like, do you want robots? You know?
What you don't want is remember the old 90s when United players used to get right in the face of the referees. That's out of order. Right, we don't want that. But we, like you say, what you do want is people going, and we don't want the fake yellow cards. That's fine. I don't mind getting a book because it stops it from happening.
Yeah.
But they've got to be consistent with that. So Ayew should have been sent off for his 2 fouls, right? And he wasn't.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
And that's where
5 minutes before,
yeah. And that's where it comes in when you said then about, was it the referee? Did the crowd? I think the crowd influenced him, and he didn't want to get the whole of Selhurst Park on his back for sending Ayew off. But when it comes to sending Tomiyasu off, it sort of takes the pressure off his back a bit because the fans don't get on it. Don't get on at him. So he's thinking, I've got a safe one here. I'll use that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, so it was a bit of both. I don't think, like I say, just don't get the first silly or sloppy yellow cards. If you're going to get a yellow card, get it for the right reason.
Yeah.
Definitely. But that's the defender in me talking. That's what.
All right. Look, the next thing I wanted to ask you about was Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like, because I know our fan base is split. A few people are sort of pro Eddie Nketiah, think that he does a good job when he comes in. I know he's scored I think he scored 5 from 11 starts.
Something like that, yeah.
So he's not doing too badly. But how do you feel about him? Obviously, he missed those chances over against Palace, but yeah.
As you know, I manage a now under 16 side, right? And one of my strikers gets cross whenever he misses a chance. And I always say to him, and he goes, and it will come up, we go, sorry to the other players. I say, look, don't apologise for missing the chances because you're taking them. If you weren't creating chances and trying to have a shot or whatever, then we get, as a striker, you then look at him and go, hang on a minute. So you'd rather have Eddie up front than say what Chelsea have got at the moment. Chelsea can't even generate those sort of chances, can they?
No.
And they're spending money left, right and centre. So for me, I think Eddie is a really good player. And I think he does need the run of matches. And I know, so look, he scored against Man United at home last season. And he scored in big games. He can score goals, let's get it right. Yeah. But I just think he might be in the sort of Andy Cole vein where he has to take 5 before he gets 1. But as long as we're creating those chances, that's fine. It's just when our midfield stop creating those chances for him.
Yeah. No. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, mate.
And I think you've got to think as well. He's got Jesus waiting to come back in so he's got to take that chance.
He has to take them chances, because if he does want that spot, if he does want that spot full time, he's got to take those chances.
Yeah.
There was another player I wanted to ask you about, Leandro Trossard. Is he being sort of iced out? What's going on with Trossard? Like, is he going to get his opportunity? Obviously, I know we were down to 10 men, so he probably would have come on. But
yeah,
where's his start, man?
So what worries me there, right, is for the first time yesterday, I saw Gabby Martinelli get really cross for being taken off.
Yeah.
Right? We're down to 10 men. You've got to take an attacker off to bring it. You've got to shore up the defence.
Yeah.
So, again, personally, I might have taken off Havertz and left Gabriel Martinelli on because you've got the pace for the running onto a counter, right? You didn't do that. That's fine. I think had we have been still with 11v11, I think Trossard would have come on. And weirdly enough, I was speaking to this with my son, who wants to come on. Actually, we might get him on one day to have his first pod.
Yeah.
And he was saying the same thing, is that we genuinely think that Trossard has come to Arsenal knowing he's going to have to wait and just be patient because he's there as an understudy to Martinelli, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's too good for that. That's my problem. That's my worry.
Yeah.
So how long do you keep him happy waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
Before he even gets one, because he turned the Charity Shield, didn't he? He came on and scored the goal, and he makes things happen. You can't deny that.
He scored 2 against Luton in the behind closed doors friendly. Well.
Yeah.
So he's warm. He's ready to go, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think I genuinely think. Sorry, mate, to cut you. I genuinely think if it had been 11v11, I reckon he would have taken Eddie off and put Trossard on and put Martinelli through the middle.
Yeah.
And I just think that just scuppered it.
I know you were saying about taking Havertz off and bringing Trossard on. I think he wouldn't have done it because Havertz' height, innit? I think he's looking at Havertz as an out ball. If he can hoof the ball up to Havertz,
he's got a good touch as well.
Yeah, he can bring it down.
Yeah,
sort of, he's got good control, ain't he?
Yeah. And to be fair, he was unlucky with that little sort of half volley / sort of shot that he did, and it just bent past the post. For Havertz. He nearly got that in. And he probably, there's a thing with him as well. Is he's probably thinking, I've got to give Havertz his time to click, otherwise he'll start getting negative press where it'll be like he's a flop. Look at him. But I tell you what, I'd still rather have him than Mudryk.
There you go.
I mean, we dodged a bullet there so far. I do think we're playing with Mudryk, but I just don't think he's right for Chelsea. But we definitely
I was gonna say that. I don't want to get onto him because look, do you know what? I'll get onto him because he's not an Arsenal player. But but what you're saying is true. I think Arteta would have done a lot better with him than what Chelsea have done with him.
Yeah,
like he's not the finished article. You can see. Look, the guy's so fast. He runs and leaves the ball. He reminds me of Theo Wilcott when he
or Pepe.
He's so quick. He just leaves the ball.
Well, yeah,
and you know Arteta already his record with wingers. You know,
Raheem Sterling, didn't it? Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah,
Sterling, Saka, Martinelli. You see his record with wingers. He knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah,
he knows.
Which is weird when you think of where he played on the pitch. You know,
imagine, centre midfielder. Yeah, he was that sort of slow it down. He was that Jorginho sort of.
Yeah,
Arteta, man.
So there you go. That's one. What do you think about Jorginho? Do you reckon he might be on his way out? Because his contract runs out at Christmas anyway, didn't it? Because it's only a 1 year thing, wasn't it?
I think if it's up to Arteta, I think he'd keep him.
I think he would. Yeah.
We need players like that with this young squad. We need that sort of experience. You saw the calm head when he came on. You saw when him and I loved it when him, Zinchenko and Kivior came on. At that point, you saw we were getting pelted. Yeah. We were pelted. When they came on, they released. It was like a release valve.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Like literally, you saw them sort of start passing the ball, doing ones and twos.
Yeah.
And getting us out of sort of those sticky situations.
Yeah.
Bruv, it looked good, man.
Didn't it?
I enjoyed that. a lot.
I just want to show you something, actually. While we're on this, look, you might not have seen this.
Yeah, go on, mate.
This year, I went and had a meeting. Look, can you see who that is? Look, it's me and Paul Merson.
Oh, wow, Merson, yeah.
And I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up, because one of the questions at the Q&A with Paul Merson, someone said to him, who's the worst player you've ever played with?
Yeah.
And he turned around and he went, I'm going to tell you now, anyone that plays Premier League football is not a bad player because you don't get there unless you're a good player. He said, so they might not be as good as some of the others on the pitch, but they are quality players, mate.
Quality,
so, you know, and that's what I mean about Eddie. People get on his back for not scoring goals, but they couldn't even trap the balls that he touches. That spin that led to the where he hit the post, most people, that would have bounced off their head or whatever. You know what I mean? So
the little spin he done was quality.
That's got to start being named the Nketiah spin. It's got to be. He does it all the time. And it works. He knows what he's doing, man.
Absolute quality.
Yeah.
Look, I wanted to sort of ask you, before we sort of start winding down, the whole penalty situation with Saka, Ødegaard. How do you feel about it? Like, do you reckon it was the right decision? Do you reckon Saka
scored it?
Taking it? What do you think?
Do you know what? I guess I hope it was a sort of in the moment thing where it was like maybe Saka said, "I don't feel this, so do you want to take it?" And we know that Saka can take penalties. Yeah, he missed the West Ham one. I ain't got a problem with him taking penalties, but maybe he just thought in this one it's too much. Let Martin take it. He's on fire, or he's earned it, or whatever. But because do you remember there was when Henry played, he always just said if he got fouled, he wouldn't take the penalty. So there might be something along those sort of lines or something. So
that used to be a thing, innit? Like if the player gets fouled, he don't take the penalty.
He don't defend. Yeah. Because your adrenaline's up and it's pumping and whatnot, and it might even have been that, wouldn't it? So we've got, and Jorginho can take a penalty as well, so I don't mind.
It was Nketiah that got fouled.
It was Nketiah that got fouled, though, wasn't it? Yeah. So, like I say, maybe it was just something that Saka just wasn't feeling in that game or whatever.
Yeah.
And it probably takes a bigger man to say, no, I'm not feeling this.
It's true. It's true. You know what I mean? Look,
he didn't do my fantasy Premier League any good, but
he stepped up in big moments, Saka.
So, yeah. So I'll let him. He could stop doing all penalties and corners for all I care because of what he does in the rest of the game. Do you know what I mean? So,
he's top quality, man.
He's our little golden boy, isn't he?
Yeah, man. Star boy.
Yeah. That's why Deckers came. Listen to me, Deckers. So, again.
my boy gets for rights already. Deckers.
Well, my next door neighbour, he don't live next.
Deckers.
My next door neighbour don't live next to me anymore. He's moved now, but he cuts Declan Rice's hair, and so Deckers used to park on my driveway every week during COVID. So he knows him quite well. So my boy gets, when he goes down to the hairdresser, he goes to him and he goes, "Can I have the Deckers done, please?" So we call him
the kids. Kids.
I'm down with the kids.
Yeah, with the Deckers.
I'm going to see if I can get my shirt signed.
Mate, what do you reckon for the weekend? How are you feeling about the Fulham game?
Well, now that they've got rid of Mitrovic, listen, we don't know. It's going to be one of those. It's another London derby, hot on the heels of this one. Yes. To be absolutely honest with you, I've just been enjoying the Palace win. I've not really thought about it. How about we meet up, say, we catch up again on Friday and we go into it in depth and do a proper preview. What do you reckon?
Facts, yeah, let's do
man.
it.
Yeah.
We'll get that one out before the game.
And that way, if anyone that was watching, if they want to join in, contact us on Twitter and we can get in and do a preview and do score predictions and stuff like that, man.
Definitely. Look, come give us a follow. Look, Gooner Gospel on all platforms.
At Armchair Gooner.
On all platforms.
Everything.
Yeah, man. Give us a follow. And please, look, like, subscribe, share.
Share.
Give us a follow. And yeah, this is Gooner Gospel TV.
See you later.
Peace.